What's up, guys? It's me again, and I'm back with another video, and I'm going to be talking about what 2016 was like for me. I thought it was a good idea to do this since I've seen people on social media lately talk about 2016, and I've seen a lot of nostalgia about that year, and I thought it was a good idea to do the same thing. So, with that being said, let's get to it. So, I was a sophomore in high school at the beginning of the year, and I graduated in May. I turned 16 years old that May. And then later that August, I started my junior year. And I was performing at high school football games with the band. I was a baritone player at the time. And performing at these games was definitely a fun experience. And I remember playing games like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, especially the Wild and Soaked expansion packs. And I remember playing Pokemon Leaf Green and Pokemon Emerald. And I remember watching movies like Zootopia and Finding Dory. And they were both good movies. And I definitely liked them. And I remember that summer I went to places like Gatlinburg, and I had a fun time in Gatlinburg, and I went to the Ripley's Aquarium, and I went to the Wax Museum, the Titanic Museum, and I got to enjoy the aerial tramway at Ober Gatlinburg. And that summer, a new theme park in Williamstown, Kentucky opened called Ark Encounter, and it's themed to Noah's Ark, and I went to that one as well. And I'd also had a fun time over there. 2016 was a memorable year when it comes to watching sports. I remember when Aaron Rodgers threw that Hail Mary against the Arizona Cardinals, and though the Packers lost that game, it was definitely a memorable play. I remember this is the second Hail Mary Aaron Rodgers threw. The other was a month earlier against the Detroit Lions to win that game. And I remember rooting for the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 50. And their defense was spectacular. And it was definitely a great way for Peyton Manning to retire. To retire as a Super Bowl champion with the Broncos. And I'm very happy for him. I remember also watching the NBA playoffs that year. And it was definitely thrilling. A year earlier was when I became a Thunder fan, but the 2015-16 season was when I started watching them. As far as the 2016 playoffs go, we had a deep run, and we took care of business against the Dallas Mavericks in round 1. We upset the San Antonio Spurs in round 2, but unfortunately we blew a 3-1 lead, and that ended up being Kevin Durant's last game with the Thunder. And he made the controversial decision to sign with the Golden State Warriors on the 4th of July after they blew a 3-1 lead themselves against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I was very happy for the Cavaliers that they won that championship. So I still remember that moment. The 2016 playoffs were the best. And as far as 2016 goes, the Packers started off 4-6, and Aaron Rodgers said that we could run the table, and we ended up running the table. We won out, we got hot, and Aaron Rodgers played out of his damn mind, and we made it to the NFC Championship that year. And even though they lost to the Falcons, who are simply a dominant juggernaut that year, the Packers had a fun season, and it was definitely one of my favorite seasons as a fan. So, with that being said, if looking back, the Thunder came a long way since they blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors. Since Durant left for the Warriors, we won a championship last year against the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. With the new core of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. And as far as the year in general went, it was definitely a memorable year. And now, looking back, I was 16 years old, but now I'm soon going to turn 26. And 2016 was definitely a great and memorable year for me. And when it comes to watching sports. So, with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to say, and I'll see you guys next time.